What's going on? Welcome to No FUGAZEE podcast. State your name. Where you from?
Calvin, from Miami, Florida.
What's going on, Calvin? What you here to debate about?
So I was just jumping in, man. I didn't really watch too much of the show, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts, like on what's kind of going on with like the Charlie Kirk situation, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Oh, okay. What in regards to what? Like with like who killed them and stuff like that, or what you mean?
Yeah, like where you stand with it and stuff like that.
I mean, it's still under investigation, man. I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy out there in regards to, the things that certain questions are being asked. Candace Owens asking questions, many people asking questions in regards to, like, was it just this guy? What is his name? Tyler?
Yeah.
They're
saying it's just a 22-year-old kid that.
Yeah, was it just him? Was it other people involved? Right? It could be. I'm under the perspective that it definitely could be multiple individuals involved. Information just came out that the bullets may be untraceable because the gun is very. That the bullets may be untraceable.
Damn.
May be untraceable. So information came out about that. So I mean, I think. Most people they take the position where, we're waiting for more information to come out to create a solid perspective on things. But, I think it was a tragic event. But what's up, man? What questions do you have?
I just want to see where you stood with it because so many people are like split between the Charlie Kirk thing. I know
split in what? Like what they mean? Like what they think Israel did it or had some involvement? What do you mean by split?
Some people say that. Me personally, I just think the kid did it from the information that we got so far.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
There's more. Yeah,
I think it was the kid, or it doesn't put it past me that it can only be the kid. It's because. He was a lefty. He was dating a man that was transitioning to a woman. There's many text messages that came out that he was against Charlie Kirk, messages came out that he even said that he was the one that murdered Charlie Kirk. So, I mean, I can see that that's definitely be a logical conclusion that it was just a kid, but I don't put it past it that maybe some other people was involved too. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, what about when he was what about when he was alive? Like, what about his message? Do you like resonate with everything he was saying, or where you at with that?
Oh, okay. So then that's the part that you want to get to.
Yeah, because I don't know where you stand with everything. You know.
Well, that's what I was asking you, man. We could have got to that right away.
Exactly.
So here on No FUGAZEE podcast, man, we speak direct. I know it's your first time coming into debate night. I don't think I've seen you before, but over here we men, and men speak direct. So don't be afraid to ever speak direct, to ever say, listen, did you like Charlie Kirk's message or did you not like it? Come in here direct, man. This is I've been 4 hours up here.
No, it was direct. That was the first question, and then this the second one. That was the first one.
Okay, it seemed like I had to kind of beat it out of you, but fair enough.
Nah. That was the first, and then this the second. So yeah.
All right. So did I agree with all of Charlie Kirk's views? No, I don't agree with any man 100%. I think any man that agrees with a man 100% is gay. So with that being said, no, there's many things that I disagree with him on, especially with his geopolitical views. But as far as the ethics of his message, I would say that I agree with the general view of his ethics.
Okay, the general?
Yeah, the general view of his ethics.
Okay, what about race?
Yeah, I don't.
Like his topics, like how you talked about, like, black pilots not being qualified, stuff like that.
Yeah, even when he said that black pilots isn't, he would question the qualifications of the pilot. It had context. Do you know what the context was?
Yeah, I know what the context he was trying to say. He was trying to go like the DEI route, which I think was wrong. Like, I think he was completely wrong. And if you thought he was right, we can debate that. That'd be a great topic to debate.
Okay. So then let me ask you a question. If a company is prioritizing, diversity and equity and inclusion, and they're instead of prioritizing meritocracy, do you think that's a good thing?
No. I want to stay on that topic specifically. I want to talk about the pilot, and then we can go into that.
This is the topic.
With the no. Specifically with the pilot thing.
No, but this is the topic,
No.
man. I'm asking you a question in regards to that. If you peel back the layer to what DEI is, it's diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Hiring. For hiring, not qualification.
Yeah, for if you're hiring, are you hiring people based off of meritocracy, or are you hiring people based off of wanting to be inclusive?
No, we're no. Listen, based off of what he was talking about, he said I thought he was basically saying I wanted to see. He would question if they're qualified. They're going to be qualified automatically.
No, I'm asking you the same question. How can they, and my question for you is, if you think that they're going to be qualified automatically, how is that the case if it's the case that the company is prioritizing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, rather than meritocracy, which is quality? How can a candidate be qualified?
The candidate is qualified because they had to pass the same requirements before they even entered the job pool in the first place to even be hired. The DEI perspective is from this pool of people. What we've noticed is out of all of these qualified pilots, the white ones keep getting hired. So what we want to do is we want you to hire equally the ones that are actually qualified. That's like saying a bunch of races pass the bar for lawyers, but only the white ones get hired. So these guys they're both qualified. They're both passed in the bar. Hire them. Like, that's just basically what it is. It's just like, all right, we see all of these black pilots being qualified. Hire them.
Got it. So you think that
that's why
when
I
a company
with him.
Let's make it make sense. I've worked many years in HR. I worked many years in staffing agencies and stuff like this. So I actually know how the process works when it comes to hiring, and when the higher ups gives you the a process of hiring. There's certain goals that you need to meet when you're hiring candidates, right? So, and one, even if we're speaking about DEI real quick, we already know that the numbers in regards to DEI, it really didn't even benefit black people anyway. It benefited a lot of other races and things like that anyway. So it's not really, it's perspective of Charlie Kirk's message of what he said, which I'm going to ask you a question to see if you actually think that it's the right thinking and methodology that should be used. So DEI creates a certain form of methodology. And one of the methodology ways it creates it, because even if you have a pool of candidates of, you would say, that meets a standard of qualifications, DEI, if it's the case that you're prioritizing that to be diverse over it, you can't really do both. And I'll explain why. The reason why you can't prioritize quality, meritocracy, and DEI is because what's the population in America of white people?
You tell me.
It's about 60%. Okay. And then if we're looking at pilots, I don't know the number, but you can Google it, or one of the chat can Google it. Even if you're looking at the candidates of pilots of who actually are qualified candidates, do you think that it's more white people over other races?
Yeah,
it is. Right. It's higher in population, right?
It's the higher population.
It's the higher population. So let me finish. Let me finish. Look. So if it's the case that, white people is the minority, white people is the majority in the country, and they're the majority of candidates that's going to be actually qualified for DEI. You would agree to that, right?
Yeah, because they're the majority. They're
okay. Now watch.
It's gonna be more coming through. Yeah,
it's gonna be more coming through, and if it's gonna be more coming through, then it would also the logical conclusion would be that if it's more qualified candidates coming through, it's a higher probability that those would be the ones that meet like the highest qualifications of that position of being a pilot, right? That would be like a logical conclusion to it.
Okay, what are you trying to?
I'll say it again. Look, watch this. All right, so look.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
I'll walk it through the line. There's more white people in America. Candidates that actually qualify to be a pilot is more white people, right? You said yes to that already.
Yeah. We agree on that.
If it's more white people and more qualified candidates to be in that position, then if we're looking at who would be the best in that position, who would be the best, if we're just looking at numbers, the logical entailment will be that white people would most likely be the best since there's more of them that's qualified.
No, I don't agree with that part.
Okay.
I agree with the first two.
On a numbers wise.
I think that's a...
So real quick, time out real quick.
I think that's the wrong assumption.
Wait, time out. How can that be the wrong assumption if you're looking at numbers, if you're looking at probability, if there's more white people and if there's more candidates that go into the field of being a pilot and more qualified candidates, if we're looking at a pool of who would be like the best candidates, by probability, it would be white people. Would that not be it?
No.
The numbers match it. Okay, explain to me how it wouldn't.
No, that's an assumption. The last thing you said was an assumption. The first two things I can agree with.
It's a logical entailment of the three.
No. I'm breaking down.
Go ahead.
The first thing I can agree with. The second thing I can agree with. The third thing, that's an assumption.
It was a fourth thing. It was three things and it was the fourth.
You're assuming that the most qualified out of the group will be the majority of the people. That's not necessarily the case. Like you're making that assumption. That's
how didn't you?
Because you can't.
How did you not? Okay, look, I'll repeat it back to you real quick. Let me actually I'll give you let's use an example to see if you get the argument, right? Cool.
No, I get what all right, repeat it, but I get what you're trying to say. But the last thing that you said that's an assumption. You're assuming that because it's the majority that they're going to be the best.
No, the most No, listen, bro. If it is more white people in America, the population, yes, then that is going to be who goes into that field more. There's more white pilots.
Those are the two things we agree with. Yes.
Okay. So if there are more white people as a candidate than any other race, we would have to say that most of the qualified candidates would be white.
Yes, that's what we agree on. That's the part that we actually agree on.
Okay, so if most of the qualified candidates would be white, when we're speaking about DEI, you would then prioritize diversity. Right? Now watch this. This is how it becomes immoral. Now we agreed on that. How didn't you agree to that before? What part did you disagree with then?
No, literally.
If it's not more, let me go back real quick before we get to the morals. Because now you agree to it. How didn't you agree to it before?
I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
The first thing that you said was, okay, if the majority of population is white, which we agreed on, that means that there will be more qualified, or there'll be more.
Well, you're missing steps. People. That's the end of it. The end of it is the most amount of qualified candidates will be white people.
Because there'll be more of them.
Because there'll be more of them.
Yeah, but the way that whatever. We'll get past that point. I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, maybe I used a different word. Like,
Yeah, because
did I use
rewind it.
maybe best?
Yeah, if you
Did I use
rewind
best?
it, you'll
Okay,
see.
then
Because you made it
I
sound.
meant
Because the way you
most.
made it sound was because there's more. That means that they're the best of the like. That's how you made it sound.
Oh no, I
And I
meant
was like,
most
that part I
because
don't
they're
agree.
because they're most.
Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
But
Fair
the
enough.
fact that they're the most, if you would have stayed on that topic, that's the part that I did agree on. But
Okay,
then you
fair
made
enough.
it seem
So
like
maybe I misspoke
because
then.
they're the most, that means they're going to be the best out
Got
of
it.
that
Yeah, I
group. I'm like,
wanted
no,
to see
that's
what
not.
you disagree with because I'm like, wait, did I misspeak or did you
Yeah.
misinterpret
You rewind it,
something
you'll
wrong?
see. Yeah.
Fair
No.
enough.
If
Fair
you
enough.
rewind it, you'll see it. Yeah.
So if they are the most qualified candidates, and then you have something in place that's DEI, it's being diverse and being inclusive, then then what you're doing is the practice that you're doing is then to skip over all of these other qualified candidates, right? Skipping over all of these, you're getting most of the resumes is qualified, 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 qualified. Oh, well, this one is qualified too, but then is it as qualified as all of the other ones that I skipped over? That's the question that's what begs the question. Is this candidate that I chose out of all of these 400 other candidates, is these 5 people better than out of these other 400? And I don't think that would be the case. Out of a huge majority of candidates, that a minority would actually be the top picks out of this other huge pool. I don't think that will be the case. So then therefore it would be not prioritizing meritocracy. It would be prioritizing inclusiveness, because if you are prioritizing meritocracy, then you're not going to look at race. You're just going to look at who's the best candidate. It just so happens to be that there's more white people, so you're going to get more white pilots anyway. That's just what's going to happen, right? That's the name of the game when you're speaking about numbers. But if you prioritize the inclusiveness, the diversity, equity, and inclusion over the meritocracy, over the quality, the scales flip. And is it really quality then? We truly don't know, because the numbers don't add up. And it's also immoral. I think I think it's immoral.
I like how deep you went with it. That's cool.
Do you have any refutations for that though?
No. I'm going based off of Charlie Kirk's position on this, right?
Well, that would be his position.
What'd you say?
That would actually be his position.
Whatever.
That's
right.
So okay.
So this what I'll say.
Oh, go ahead.
Right,
real quick. Over here on this side of the internet, when we look at DEI, we know that it's just it's stupid. We know that it's immoral because it's actually racism. Because if there's more, think about it. You are actually looking at race and you are trying to disqualify all of these other candidates. Like, think about it. If there's just more people that's qualified of this race, but then you don't want to choose them, you're going to choose the minority, that's actually racist, which would be immoral from my worldview and from Charlie's worldview, which is why I said that I agree with his ethics.
So you do agree with his ethics for the most part. So this
for the most part.
Yeah. So this is my thing with it, right? I'm not gonna get all into the numbers and all this stuff like that, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm for DEI and stuff like that. I brought up the pilot example, not necessarily to jump deep into like the DEI and the numbers and stuff like that and all of this. The reason why I wanted to even bring up this debate in the first place, because there might be a lot of things that he says that are accurate, but my issue or my thing with it is, why does he only point at things with the black community when the white community has its own issues as well? For example, if I made a podcast and I brought up stats, which were 100% accurate, right? We're not talking about DEI. If I brought up stats about, white people tend to be the most school shooters, white people tend to do the most. I'm not trying to get you kicked off the show, but you know what I'm trying to say. Underage kids,
Yeah.
sexual
P
stuff
files,
like
all
that.
that.
You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, I don't want to say all that stuff on your show. If I kept pushing those narratives to an all black audience, what would your perception of me be like? What, like if you were an outside looking in, what would you be like? You'd be like, what is this guy trying to do? Like, why does he keep bringing
Got you.
up these particular stats in front of an all black audience? Is he trying to demonize white people? Is he trying to start a race war? Is he trying to? That's what I'm really trying to get at. You get what I'm trying to say? Some of his stuff might be accurate. Like he might, but the fact that he says, "Oh, I'm going to jump on a plane and then assume black pilot is less because of DEI." Well, the black pilot could actually be even more qualified because of everything he had to go, to even have the balls to even apply and pass all of those requirements to even get in the job pool to begin with. You get what I'm trying to say? So that's
that's an assertion, but the black person could be more qualified than the white person. But if you just prioritize meritocracy, if you prioritize that, then you're going to get the most qualified candidate, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not going to make the argument. I'm not going to go into the numbers and all that stuff like that. I just want you to answer, because I wanted to see where you stood at with him. But I wanted you to answer my question. If I did that, right? Jumped in front of an all black audience, and all I did was name all of the true stats about white violence, about biker gangs, about KKK, about white supremacist groups, about neo-Nazis, about how they founded our country with violence, slavery, all of this stuff like that. And I just kept repeating these points to an all black audience. How would you view me? And would you view me differently than you view a Charlie Kirk?
So one, I've never seen Charlie Kirk speak in front of an all black audience. I think he did something before in the White House.
You're missing the point.
Is this a hypothetical you mean?
No. You're missing the point. Being a black man.
Oh, no, I get it. Real quick. Is it a hypothetical? I'll engage the hypothetical, or I'll engage it with in reality. The reality is
a hypothetical.
The hypothetical, I'll answer. Go ahead.
Audience, no, listen. The reason I say all black audience, because I'm black, right? So I'm saying me being a black person talking in front of an all black audience, saying all of the wrong things that white people do. What am I trying to do there? Because it's equivalent in his situation, because he's a white man in front of a all white audience. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Talking about black issues. What's the point?
This is an argument of identity. So your argument is an argument of identity, and when you're making an argument of identity, we can even map this on when it comes to women and men. What does a man look like? He has the man identity, speaking to a group of women and saying all the things that maybe that they need to improve on and all the things that they're doing bad at. So we can map this identity argument on to many areas, and it will all be the same, even if it's a black man speaking to a white audience, if it's a man speaking to an all woman audience. The truth is the truth, right? It doesn't matter. And I think the truth is the only thing that can set someone free. So how I would look at the person motives, if it's a man speaking to all women, if there's a white man speaking to all black men, if there's a black man speaking to all white men, if they are saying the truth and speaking the truth can only set you free. So I know that if it is the truth, if it's the case that it is the truth and not lies, then I know that it's coming from a place of good, because truth is good.
Oh, so you assume that Charlie Kirk was coming from a place of good. So that's where you stand.
I'm making the assumption that if it is the case that the things, I don't agree with everything in regards to him, but if it's the case that what Charlie Kirk is saying is actually true and not a lie, it doesn't matter if he's speaking in front of an all black audience. I think that it is good. And I think the motives.
You're saying if it was the truth, you say it's good regardless. Like
if it's the truth, it's good.
Him bringing up
if it's a lie, it's not good.
But no. But even if it was true, I'm saying I'm assuming that it is true. So him speaking primarily in front of an all white audience as an all white man, basically bringing up black issues, right? Black on black crime that doesn't have anything to do with him or his audience, or because it's black on black, right?
But when you're speaking, no, look, when you're speaking to an audience, real quick, when I'm speaking to people, one of the ways to not have social anxiety is to not think about you. So don't think about you when you're speaking to the audience. Speak about the audience that you're speaking. Think about them, and you'll be able to, one, relay the message better, and you'll also be able to speak in a way where they can understand because you're thinking about them. I think that's genuine. You create some social awkwardness there, some social anxiety when you start to think about yourself. So I think that Charlie speaking to all black people, or anyone speaking to a group that they don't identify with, as long as they're speaking the truth, I think that that's a good thing. They're not selfish. They're speaking about things that can benefit the other people. They're being truth. As long as they're true, it has to be beneficial.
That's where I disagree. This is where I disagree.
Okay, so you want them to lie? You want them to lie?
No. I feel like there was no point of him even bringing it up because there was no solution. What was he going to? What is he saying? More fathers need to be in the home. Whatever. Yeah, that's the case for every single race out there.
True, but more for black people.
No, this is where me and you would disagree. I believe his motives were impure. You believe his motives were pure because you're just saying, well,
not all.
It doesn't matter.
I don't agree with everything he said. I'm speaking about the things that I believe to be true in his message. Now, the things that we're speaking about, if we're speaking specifically about DEI and black pilots. When we're speaking about that,
I brought up that example to go a different route, and then you went into the DEI thing. But
yeah, but listen,
day,
Calvin,
this is where I'm coming at. I'm bringing it full circle. This is where I'm coming at.
Sure.
I'm honestly saying that I do not believe his motives were pure. I honestly believe, this is my opinion. You can debate me on this or whatever the case is.
Okay.
I honestly believe that Charlie Kirk was speaking in front of a all-white audience about black issues to, in some way, shape, or form, create some form of division or some form of it's us versus them or some form of basically to divide. Because there wasn't any I'm doing this to help them or I'm doing this for the better. No, it was just purely bringing up stats that are out of context or whatever the case is, just to bring them up, just to basically paint a picture in his audience's mind, or maybe it's something that they agree with, right? That's probably why he brought it up, because this is probably the stuff that they secretly agree with behind closed doors about a specific race or whatever. And you can insert whatever you want to insert if it's about whatever community he wants to talk about. So that's where my disagreement is. That's where my debate is. That's why I asked you where you stood. And it seems like you stand on he just was a pure guy telling the truth. I don't believe that. I believe that.
No, I don't think anyone is totally pure and someone is always telling the truth. I don't believe that at all. Once again, what I'm saying here is very simple, right? So I'll say this first. So if he is speaking something that's true, I think it's good because I think that truth is good. It doesn't matter if you make the assertions and the assumptions that he's speaking to. Let me finish. You make these assumptions and these assertions that he's speaking to a white audience only about black people. That isn't the case. That isn't true. He speaks about many different issues. He goes against things like feminism. Feminism is the white woman's ideology. Okay, so he's speaking against. Listen, I know. Listen. Or if it's not even okay, if it's not only, and he's speaking about many different ethnicities, even his own people, his own race, and other races as well, then obviously he's being more objective than what you're saying. You're saying like he's not being objective, that he's only speaking crap about black people. He speaks crap about white people as well. What I'm saying here is maybe you didn't say only, but that's what you're insinuating. No, that's what you are insinuating.
First of all, I didn't say.
Do you know what
only.
insinuating? Do you know what
I
an
know exactly
insinuate?
what it means. I know exactly what it
Okay,
means.
then
That's
you
what I
are
said.
insinuating
The
that.
other, no, I'm not, because I said it doesn't matter the group, because he also talked about the trans groups and stuff like that. It's literally. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm trying to go back to my point, and I'm trying to figure out where you stand on it, and I feel like
I gave
you
you
talking
my
circles on me.
stance, but okay, go ahead.
No. I feel like you talking in circles on me. I just
No, I'm
told you
not.
where I stand. I feel like his motives were unpure. That's how I feel. I feel like he was disingenuous with why he brought up those facts. I'm not the believer of you
You
that
only
just like, oh,
brung
as long
up.
as it's true, it doesn't matter. You
Okay,
get what I'm trying
so
to say? And I never said only. I never ever said. You make it seem like he only. I never said that. Not one
okay,
time. Never
so
said that. He talks about all kinds of groups, but he does it in a way. In this is the part where I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe he deserved to die for basically freedom of speech. I don't believe he deserved to die for that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that part is a little too extreme, but by me watching his debates after the fact that he passed away, because I didn't watch him before the fact. Before, like, I watched like one clip before he passed away, and I'm just being honest. Then I went into it after the fact, and I was watching his long form and watching stuff like this, and I'm like, hold up, man. There's a lot of like racial bias, undertones, things like that in the way he's speaking, and it seems like it's deeper than just stats. It seems like
and
there's
you
more to
so
it. And then
okay.
come to
I'll let you
find out.
finish. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry, go
no.
ahead.
But you never told me where you stood on it. Do you honestly believe that he had a pure motives with what he was saying? Because you keep going to, well, it's facts, it's facts, it's facts. There's
So
a lot of
here's a
stuff the internet that's
difference.
factual, but I can spin it in a way to create a different type of
Here's the difference between me and you. You go based off of your feelings. I'm not going. Well, you are. You're going based off of how he said it. It's the way he said things. I think he's going at it in this way, and it's not genuine. It's, well, I mean, that's what I'm getting from what you're saying, bro. Anytime you're speaking about how, Calvin, I'll let you speak. I really wasn't interrupting. When you're speaking about how things are said rather than what is said, you are going into then your interpretation of the message, which would be feelings based. Is that incorrect or correct?
No, that's very incorrect, because I never said how it was said. I went into actually what was said.
Let me, you didn't answer my question.
You never answered mine either.
I'm answering your question, right? So
I said where? No. I said more like, do you believe
Calvin,
that his intentions were pure when he was saying the stuff that he said? That's all I asked.
I'm answering your question, Calvin, but I'm answering your question in a way where, one, I would say I've already answered it when you first asked it, but I have to answer it this way because you're not understanding me. That's all, right? So just
you talking.
Let me put my argument out. No, I'm not talking a lot of anything.
You never answered.
If it's not the case. I said that we view the world differently.
That is watching, no, trust me.
Okay, did I not answer it? Okay, here we go, Calvin. Your question is this: do you think that the things that Charlie Kirk said was pure? That's your question.
Yeah.
Okay, I answered that. Stop it, Calvin. No. Well, that's not your question, or is it your question?
Because you take words out. I said, do you believe his motives were pure? Do you believe his motives were pure?
Okay, once again, I answered this when you first came in. You asked a similar question to it. Now you're adding the word motives in, right?
No, I said that. All right, please rewind this. I've said motives the whole entire time. Every time I asked, you took the word out. You're spinning it. I promise you. You got to rewatch this.
No, listen, Calvin. No, Calvin, you're 100% wrong. And just chill out here, man. It's very simple. You asked the question, do I think his motives are pure? And when you asked the question in the beginning, you asked it in a different way. I can't remember the exact words you used, but it's the same type of question, but you asked it in a different way. What did I tell you? I said that there's certain things that I agree with Charlie Kirk on, and there's certain things that I don't agree with. What I do generally agree with is his ethics, his moral claims. From a general standpoint, I would say that I agree with that. It could be little certain things, but he started to switch up his message towards before he was murdered. So I started to agree with him more because he changed up. But it can be older clips that you can watch that I would probably disagree with. Maybe from like 3 years ago, I would disagree with some of his ethics in regards to things. But he started to change up a little bit. So I would say that current, like here, as far as before he died, I started to agree with it a lot more. Now, this means that though, Calvin.
Yeah.
Let me finish.
I'm not trying to cut you off.
Calvin, let me finish. Calvin, I'll let you speak. Just Calvin.
I didn't. All right, go. I'm helping your debate. I'm saying I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just letting you know, just all honesty. I might be going off of his old stuff because that's probably the stuff that I was watching. So his new stuff that you just mentioned right now, I didn't go that deep. So when you just said he changed some stuff up in the new stuff, maybe I didn't get to the new stuff. Maybe I'm going still off the old stuff.
Yeah,
still.
no, that's totally
I didn't
fine.
watch it until after he passed away.
Okay, so you're just watching all of these clips and stuff, exactly. Anything that comes up. Yeah, I've already.
I'm going. So when you just said that last part, that's what I'm saying. I'm new to this. I heard about you. You know what I mean? From to be honest, the way I found out about you was somebody said that you said something about you don't, or something about baby moms, like they not qualified, and you ended up dating a girl with kids that's not yours, something like that. So then that's how I found out about you. So I really don't watch your stuff like that. I just seen debate. So I wanted to see where you stood on that, because I'm getting a lot of black people, especially, and they's like, oh, Charlie Kirk was a pure guy. Charlie Kirk was the best guy in the world. I'm like, bro, the stuff that I'm watching of this guy is like low key, like racist for real. Like, I'm not even joking, because I'm born and raised in Florida. I grew up around real racist people. Like, you grow up, they'll call you nigger, whatever the case is. So there ain't really no feelings in it. I just wanted to see where you stood at it. So the way I grew up, and the kind of the stuff that he was saying, his old stuff, probably, I got that same kind of feeling. You feel me? Like, I grew up, dudes would be like, hey, shut up, nigga. Like, and it is what it is. We from Florida. We fight down here, whatever case is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, but
Calvin,
listen.
I've been letting you speak for a while, man. I've been granting you the platform and letting you speak. But once again, you're going back to feelings, and this is the difference between me and you. This is why you really can't understand the message. I got to stop you here so I can speak, because you're going off on a tangent. So let me clear up some things. Let me clear up some things of what you said, man. And I've been letting you speak, man.
I was finna bring it full circle and end it.
I think I get the gist of it. I understand what you're saying here, but what you're not understanding about me, let me finish. Stop speaking. I gave you the grace to come up on a platform. Just stop speaking real quick, because this is what you're misunderstanding in regards to me. Cooley up here. The way you view the world is in a feminine way. You view the world on feelings. You just started speaking about your feelings again. I don't view the world that way. When you asked me the question, I said that if the things that Charlie is saying is true, then it is good. This is when I'm speaking about ethics, moral ethics, the distinction of what's good and what's bad. There's things that I agree with him on, the good and the bad. That's what I'm saying. If you're speaking about other things in regards to Charlie Kirk, let's get to the specifics. You brung up DEI. Time out. Stop it. You brung up DEI and you brung up pilots. Stop it, Calvin. Stop it. I'm speaking now. I've let you speak. Stop it. You brung up DEI and pilots. When we're speaking about DEI and pilots, you had no refutation to my argument on how I broke it down, because actually DEI would be immoral. It doesn't adhere to my ethics. And you couldn't say anything, because guess what? It probably wouldn't adhere to your ethics either, because it is racist. The practice itself is racist. Guess what? Now let me ask you the question. If you're looking at the NBA, and the NBA came up with a DEI program in regards to, oh, you know what? We need to prioritize DEI with getting more white athletes in the NBA, more white athletes. Well, guess what? There's going to be some good white athletes. We do know this. There's going to be some good Mexicans, some good black people, but the majority of qualified candidates for the NBA is going to be black people. But if we prioritize DEI and getting white people or other races in here, then some of these black qualified candidates for the NBA that actually can be way more qualified than these white people are not going to get the position. So it's going to exclude these people by including these people, which is inherently racist. It's a racist program. You have a weak feminine mindset and you go by feelings based. I'm speaking facts. I'm breaking things down to the root, down to the methodology on how they go about these practices. I'm speaking about numbers. You tried to run away from numbers. Your mindset is that of a woman. This is why you say, well, I'm one of those people that don't like Charlie Kirk. I know why you don't like a Charlie Kirk, nigga, because you don't like how he says it, because you are a beta. You are a weak male. You are feminine, my boy. You are feminine. You feminine right now, and your glasses are fogging up. Your glasses are fogging. They're fogging up. So listen, this is what we're going to do. Since your arguments is so weak, we're going to get down to something that's very specific again. Tell me something. Once again, I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said. So we'll actually probably find some agreement on things. But tell me something else that you disagree with Charlie Kirk. Something specifically. Give me that now.
First of all.
No, first of all, give me something specific. You lost the pilot debate and the DEI debate. You lost it. You lost it, and you know you did.
No, I did not, because I was going to bring it.
So if you didn't lose it, no. Let me ask you the question, Calvin. Calvin, let me ask you the question. If you do not agree with it, then what about the NBA? What if the NBA did the same methodology?
Hey, that's his point. You just bringing up Charlie Kirk's point.
Answer it. What if the NBA did the same methodology of DEI? Would this exclude black people? Would this exclude black people?
Hey, you keep cutting me off. Like I can't even get it. I can't even get my words in.
If the NBA time out real quick, if the NBA prioritized DEI and wanted to be diverse and inclusive, would the NBA be trash to watch because it'd be all these white people? Would you trust that you'll get a good game?
Bro, you brought up Charlie's point.
Would you trust?
All you doing is bringing up his point.
I'm going into your worldview and I'm refuting it. This is called the internal critique because you go based off of feelings and not facts.
And that's where you're wrong. This is exactly where you're wrong, because I have no emotions into this. I really don't care.
You came in here with emotions talking about, I don't like how he said it.
No, listen. No,
you did. Calvin, you did.
You rewind this and you actually watch this.
Calvin, you came in here with emotions, Calvin.
And you're not really actually staying on the point. You're talking in a whole lot of circles. But this is where I will go back and say this. Out of the two of us, the only one that's getting emotionally riled up is you.
No, Calvin. No one's getting emotionally riled up, Calvin. I speak to all people like this, Calvin. Calvin, I speak to all people like this. Don't, Calvin, you're not special. Calvin, you're not special. Calvin, you're not special. Watch my debates. You're not the only one that I speak to like this. When you have the mind of a woman, Calvin, when you have a mind of a woman, I speak to betas like you. I speak to men that have the mind of a woman. I speak to men like you that have the mind of a woman. The NBI, DEI example disproves your point. Because does the NBA practice DEI? Does the NBA practice DEI? Answer the question. Does the NBA practice DEI?
That's not what we're finna do.
Does the NBA practice DEI? Answer the question. No, time out. I answer all of your questions. Listen, bro, I'll kick you off my stream if you ain't answering questions. Answer the question.
I will answer the question.
I stayed and answered all your questions.
Bringing it to a different spot.
Does the NBA practice DEI currently? Yes or no?
Does the NBA practice DEI? No.
Yeah. Okay. And since if the NBA did practice DEI, would you trust the players that's being drafted to the NBA and that's starting and stuff like that? Would you trust them to have the best people in position?
I never brought up DEI to begin with.
You brought up Charlie Kirk speaking about the pilot and Charlie Kirk's reason. I brought up
the pilot situation because you're not letting me
reason for it, you knucklehead. You have low IQ. I asked you, do you know the context of his statement? The context of his stop it, Calvin, stop it. You're not listening.
If you hear what I got to say at the end, it will make
Calvin,
sense.
Stop it. You don't know what you're speaking about right now, Calvin. No, you're not listening. Is it not the case? Is it not the case? The reason why? Stop it. Is it not the case when you brung up DEI? I mean, when you brung up the pilot.
You brought it up. Rewind it.
Stop it. When you brung up the pilot,
I brought up the pilot situation for something completely different.
I asked you context.
The DEI.
I asked you context.
Writing Charlie.
No, I asked you context.
You bring up everything Charlie brings up, just like the NBA section.
You're slow. You have a low. Listen, you have a low IQ, my friend. You have a low IQ.
Call it what it is.
Let me ask you the question. When we're speaking about, you don't know how to. You don't even know how to have linear thinking. Your thinking is very tangential. When we're speaking about the pilot. The reason why Charlie Kirk said what he said is because of DEI. Is that not the context? And you even said yes to the context.
I was gonna take it to a completely different space. You
was gonna take it to a completely different space.
I didn't say nothing about DEI.
I asked you the context
because you're dick writing him.
I asked you the context.
You're dick writing him.
You are a liar. I asked you the context.
You're gonna see how everything.
You know what you dick ride? You dick ride your feelings because you're a chick. No, you dick ride your feelings because you are a woman.
Hey,
you dick ride your feelings because you are a woman. That's not emotional. A man raising his voice at another man is not emotional. You nuthead. What are you speaking about? What are you speaking about?
No, keep going.
No. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Stop trying to move the goalposts and avoid things and obfuscate off the topic. You brought up the pilot. I said, well, yeah, he said something about black people in regards to the pilot. I said, but he added,
I brought up the
stop
pilot
it. Stop it. I asked you. I asked you what context in regards to it.
That he says in his videos, you're
okay. Is it not the case?
Brought up the NBA thing that he brought up.
Is it not the? Is it not the case?
No. Listen,
you still have low IQ. I'm gonna mute you because you're not. You listen. You're muted right now. You brung up pilot. I'm going to take you off of mute. You brung up pilot because you don't know how to have any decorum. One mic at a time, nigga. You brung up pilot and what Charlie said about black pilots. I said, well, yeah, he said some stuff about black pilots, but he had context in there. I said, do you know the context? And then you said, yeah, he had some context in there. Even if I mentioned DEI is part of Charlie Kirk's context of why he said that he would question if he walked into a plane and if it was a black pilot. All of my arguments was around, well, if a company prioritized DEI, prioritize over meritocracy, I'm giving the distinction. If they prioritize meritocracy over DEI, well, you know what? We got some stuff here. You're going to get the most qualified candidates over the ones that's just going based off of race, because that would be racist. You get what I'm saying? It's immoral. Just like affirmative action. These type of practices are immoral under my worldview, under my moral ethics, which is why I said that, well, in regards to Charlie Kirk, I would say, generally speaking, we would share the same ethics. Everything I said perfectly. You don't know how to follow an argument because your mindset is tangential like a female. It's not linear thinking. Men, we think linear, one directional. Your mind, you think like this. It's scattered. It's tangential. Listen, nigga. So don't try to say you brung up DEI. I asked you for the context and we agreed on DEI. We agreed on that. So then when I make the argument and I bring up the NBA, you have no refutation for it. You have no refutation for it. So guess what? You would actually share Charlie Kirk's ideology when it comes to DEI. Yes, you would. You share it for the NBA. Why wouldn't you share it for pilots? Answer that question. Since since you are against DEI in regards to the NBA, why are you not against DEI when it comes to pilots?
I'm going to tell you exactly why. And
I'm
going to tell you why it wasn't about DEI for me. Because
that is why he said listen. He would be, curious or question if there's a black person, if there's a black pilot.
I'm trying to talk. I'll let you talk.
No. Listen, you trying to say something that is false. No. You're lying. This podcast is called No Fugazi. You are lying, my friend. You're lying.
Listen. I let you talk. Now it's my turn to talk.
I've been letting you speak, but answer my question. No, stop and answer my question.
Listen, though. You got to listen to me, bro.
Go ahead, answer. I'm going to go ahead.
Bro. I'm here. The reason I brought up the pilot thing is
I don't care why you brought up the pilot. Answer the question, bro.
I am answering the question about, bro. The reason
forget why you brought it up. Just answer the question.
Bro, you're not letting me talk, bro. God damn, I'm answering the question.
How about you answer my question first and then talk? Answer it first, then talk.
You cut me off, bro.
Answer it first, then talk.
I'm the feminine one out of us too. You the most feminine one out of us.
Because you've been obfuscating off of the topic, and I let you speak.
You're not letting me say my point.
I'll let you get it off. You know why I let you get it off? Because it's your first time up here. This is why I let you get it off. But since I know that you're disingenuous and you lie and you move the goalposts, this is why you actually have to answer the question specifically. So I'll repeat the question back again. Here's the question. You are not for DEI in the NBA. So why would you be for DEI in regards to pilots?
Okay.
Because you're obviously for DEI when it comes to pilots if Charlie Kirk was against it and you have a problem with it.
Cooley, one thing that you do is you make a lot of assumptions. I'm not saying this. This is the stuff that you're saying. What I'm saying with the pilot situation is with the pilots, for them to even be in the job pool to begin with, they have to be qualified. That's not what I'm saying.
Not if you're prioritizing DEI, they won't. We don't know that they're the most qualified. You can have a pilot license. Listen, you dumb dork. Girls have pilot. Girls, listen. Women have a license to drive a car. A 17-year-old has
now you're lying.
An 18-year-old boy has the license to drive a car, but is an 18-year-old boy better than more qualified to drive a car when you're 25? Why do you think it's the case? Stop. No one's lying. Why do you think it's the case? For you to rent a car in America, you have to be 25 because they know that, well, if you're under 25, a lot of accidents and things like that and insurance rates is just through the roof because a lot of young people get into accidents. So therefore, even if you can pass that standard test of getting your license, you are still not the most qualified person, you dork. Do you get that? There's a standard for being a pilot. This is, even if you meet the standard, it still doesn't mean you're the most qualified person. This is why when I walked you through the argument, I said that who would be the most qualified people? It will be white people just by numbers because it's freaking more white people. This doesn't mean that there's not a black person that's a better pilot than white people. This doesn't mean that. This just means that there will be more white people qualified than black people because there's not a lot of black people as pilots. That's what that means. So if you are prioritizing DEI, stop it. If you are prioritizing DEI, you are not getting the most qualified person. If you are prioritizing meritocracy, you are getting the most qualified person. That was my distinction. My comparison was meritocracy and DEI. That was my comparison. So you have to go into what I'm saying. Just don't make up stuff yourself, bro. What are you speaking about?
Bro, I literally just told you. I literally just broke it down.
Look, you have to go through the same Calvin, low IQ. You don't get this stuff, bro.
Listen, who cares? Who cares what this dude is saying? At the end of the day, you have to all be qualified to be a pilot in the first place, right? When they're looking at applications, you can't guess who's more qualified. You can't fucking be like, oh, this application, I'm just assuming that he's more qualified because he got a fucking white name or whatever. Bro, you never worked. Bro, you don't know the methodology when it comes to hiring people. Bro, when you're looking at applications, there's resumes. There's stuff that you did in your work history, other jobs that you had. So a person, let me ask you this question. A pilot, he just got his license. Right? He just got his license. Let's say he had it for a year. He flew around. His work history that he worked for a company, another airline for Spirit or whatever, and he flew around or whatever, stuff like that. But he's trying to get into United Airline. But then he's going against people that flew in the military that has 20 years or 10 years of work history as far as flying a plane. You can qualify to fly a plane. It doesn't mean that you're the most qualified to fly a plane. You dork. That was the argument. Listen. You have low IQ. You stupid nigga. Listen. You are the reason why black people are in the poor position that they are in because you are dumb. Hey,
you're dumb, bro. You're dumb.
Hey, you can say, listen.
You're dumb.
You get all riled up. No, listen. You can get all riled up.
There's no riled up, nigga. This is how I speak. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast, nigga. Welcome to No Fugazi Podcast. Look at my debates. I invite soy boys like you and fly them out and punch them in their face, nigga. Look at No Fugazi Podcast. What the freak is you speaking about? I always speak like this. I come with all this energy.
Hey,
Especially to betas like you, nigga. You are feminine and you have low IQ.
Hey, you can say whatever you want to say. We both know it ain't true.
You're a girl. You are a girl. You are a girl, and you put up no full arguments. I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one chance. One chance. Is there anything, real quick? Is there anything else that you disagree in when it comes to Charlie Kirk? Anything else that you disagree when it comes to Charlie Kirk specifically? You brought up the pilot thing. Is there anything else that we can debate? Because you lost the pilot debate. Let's bring up something else.
No, but all right. So now
you did.
We went through that. Now that we went through that, at the end of the day, you can laugh all you want to. Hey, at the end of the day, what I came in with it as was, I honestly do not believe he was genuine or whatever the case is. I honestly believe he was literally spewing these specific points to create division. And that's my honest opinion. And the reason why I even came to that conclusion, even after I started looking up stuff, was one of his little fucking high school mates from back in the day was like, yeah, we went to high school with Charlie Kirk. He used to be a cool motherfucker, right? He tried to get into West Point College, and that was the only fucking college that the dude fucking applied for. And then when he did not get into West Point College, he ran around the school saying the reason I didn't get in is because of DEI. They gave it to some black guy. They gave it to somebody else instead of me. This went crazy on it. So
okay, what's your point?
Me seeing this and understanding all of this is the reason why when I came into the debate, I wasn't trying to get into all these fucking stats and shit. I was just like, where do you stand?
If you're going to come into a debate, you got to get into the facts and the stats and everything, man. We got to go down to the methodology.
Listen, I just wanted to know where you stood with him on you watching him from a I can't even fucking think of the word, from you watching him just like, no.
Listen, man, like I told you the things that I disagree with him on, and I told you the things that I agree with him on. So what's your point?
I felt like from the jump, it was all disingenuous. The only reason he was bringing up all these black stats and black crime and this was to build in his audience's mind that our enemy is black. It was all.
Where did you get this from? You're making this assertion.
I'm not making
this is coming from feelings because this is not what he said.
I just told you.
If it's not coming from facts,
said that he was pissed off. I just told you. Is that not factual? Is it not something that should be taken into consideration when you're spewing off all his points, basically dick riding him, basically
no one's dick riding nobody. I would never dick ride another man. So you are incorrect.
All the points that he brought up. And then you start coming at me over some motherfucker. You the one who fucking put up the thing, do a debate and da. Well, I just randomly clicked this shit. Like,
are you streaming right now?
Hell no, I'm not streaming. I'm on your shit. Why would I stream?
Okay, fair enough. So real quick, let's be honest here. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
When you brung this up, you said that you disagreed with Charlie Kirk. The only specific thing that you brung up was the pilot.
I didn't say
thing.
that though. I said, where do you? I said, be honest. I'm talking black man to black man. I was like, hey, be honest. What, bro? You can rewind this shit. I wasn't talking about none of that shit. I said, be honest. Do you honestly believe that Charlie Kirk's
I answered that question though.
Genuinely? So that's what I came with. That's what I started with.
Oh, that's
exactly how I started.
Yeah, we know that's what you said when you came in. And then I asked you a question. I said, tell me something specifically that you disagree. The one thing that you brung up was DEI. And the pilot. The context behind why he has this opinion on black pilots, the context is the reasoning is DEI. So when I debated you, if it is the reason that someone has an opinion, you want to see if the reason is valid. If the reason isn't valid, then obviously I would consider what he said to be racist and to be wrong. Like if he just said like, well, man, if a black pilot, if I walked into a plane and I seen a black pilot, yeah, I'm going to question his qualifications. If he said that, listen, if he said it without any context, I would say, what's the context behind it? Because the only thing that I'm getting from it is you have this this view to discriminate solely based off of race. The context behind it was, well, his reasoning was actually the DEI program. And the DEI program, that program is actually immoral. That program is not anything that you ever want to prioritize in a company if you want to have the most qualified candidates into position. That's not a program that you want to that you want to prioritize. So since, let me land my plane. So real quick, I got you. So since his reasoning of what his statement was is something valid, and you would even agree that no, DEI shouldn't be in the NBA. So why the freak should it be for pilots, right? We would say that DEI overall, even when we look at the stats, it don't even benefit black people anyway. So it's just stupid. Since there's more white people, it's always going to benefit more white people. When he first had said it, what I'm saying is, I already knew these things. I'm older than Charlie Kirk. I know that DEI and their methodology follows affirmative action. When he was first speaking, I don't think he knew these things that is really truly going to benefit the white people anyway, because it's more freaking white people, right? But then when he started learning more about it and his method started to change and he started to explain why he's saying these things, then I'm like, I can agree with that. That's all I'm saying, bro. So when we're speaking about Charlie Kirk, I am not no writer for any man. I'm not I'm not no fan of any man. What I would say is that his ethics, like I said before, his moral ethics, his distinctions of good and bad, generally we agree. I would maybe have to like fully pick through and see, but I don't really think that there's any good or bad that we would disagree with.
Yeah. So okay.
But policies, I already said his geopolitics. I do not agree with his geopolitics. He wasn't America first. He started to become America first, due to the before he got murdered.
No. Don't get too deep into that.
We don't got to get too deep into that. But then I was like, when he started to become more America first, I'm like, okay, all right, we getting somewhere. But before, he was leaning too much onto some other stuff. I'm like, I don't agree with his geopolitical views. So listen, man.
And this is, and you understand, I'm not you see how you was citing all of the stuff that he was saying and all of this stuff like this, and the NBA example, he used that example, stuff like that. I don't even fuck with him on that level, right?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that he used that example.
No. But I can tell you probably study him a little bit even more than me, right?
That was just a logical entailment to the argument that we were having. But fair enough, land your plane. Go ahead.
And all that stuff, he did it.
Probably did, whatever. That's logical entailments,
yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, the pilot situation is he made a lot of assumptions to paint a picture in his people's mind to divide. That's where I started with. That's where I end with. You can't change my mind on that. And the reason why, yes, you can sit here and say, "Oh, DEI." Bro, you act like these goddamn airlines train their own pilots after they hire them. You act like these airlines is not going to put them through a protocol before they put them in the air. You act like bro, I've worked jobs too, bro. Like you learn more on the job than you learn at school or bro, everybody knows this.
You do learn more on the job. So
more on the job than you learn.
But this is why knowing.
All right, go ahead.
But I get what you're saying. This is why knowing the methodology of enforcing DEI, this is why understanding that methodology and the practices and how it plays out is very important to understand, which I happen to understand. That's all I'm saying. Since I understand it, since he gave the reason, his reason was DEI programs, and I know the methodology is not anything good, it's actually stupid, it's just dumb, then I say that, well, his reasoning, his statement isn't racist. If his statement did not include context of DEI, then I would say racist. Now, do I know someone's mind? Do I think that he loves black people the way that maybe that I would favor black people or love black people? No, I'm black. We all are tribalism to a certain extent, maybe not. But in my worldview anyway, I adhere to Christian ethics, which I do believe he does too. Then we should share a similar Christian ethics, whereas you don't really look at the color of skin. I'm in an interracial relationship. My kids are mixed. You get what I'm saying? So even within that, I don't look at things in regards to like, oh, skin color and things like that. I look at values. and the context of someone's character rather than just the skin color. So this is why someone can make a statement that could be that could sound like, God dang, that could be a little bit racist. But if they explain and expound on their point and give context, and if the context isn't rooted in like racist theories and methodologies and stuff, if it isn't rooted in that, okay, then the statement is actually factual. And his statement was factual when it came to the pilot. Like, put it like this. Me and you both would be we wouldn't be too sure about if the NBA started to prioritize DEI and we seen some white athletes starting, more white athletes getting drafted, like a higher percentage than normal before. We would be like, do I really trust that, they're going for the best candidates, like the best players? And not only that, if they're not going for the best players, they're leaving out the best players, which would then be segregating and be racist against black people. It would be racist against whatever race is, like, think about this. The NBA, black people, we just better at that. And it's more of us in that field. Pilots, bro, just happens to be that there's more candidates that are pilots.
I know, but the thing is, all right, so this is where I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't have nothing. No. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't agree with DEI. I never brought up the DEI. Fair enough.
I'm gonna leave you in here, Calvin, because I think maybe we got people in here. So what I do is, no. I'm gonna bring more people up because I think the debate is fairly over. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring people up. You basically conceded on the debate, so I win that one. Well, maybe you may not pick a party. Reasoning. All right.
Okay.
Well, real quick.
That's the point that I was trying to get across.
Calvin.
Yeah, the same point
let me give Darnell the floor.
He said,
he said that. He said
to commit crimes.
So that would be so these things would be a statistical fact, but he's not saying black people are violent by nature. If he said black people are violent by nature, you would see me like, no, this nigga was a racist. I don't think he ever said that.
I'm willing to bet it. Go ahead. Okay. So saying stuff like as far as
better example. The example where he said that black people, what did he say? Something about their brains, or they don't have the brain width or the brain power to even handle something like that. I don't know the exact words. I'm paraphrasing it, but
was he speaking about black women?
Yes, black women don't have the mental bandwidth to handle something.
He said the mental processing power, and
exactly.
I'll let you finish, but go ahead.
No. You, that's what I wanted to get across. The mental processing power. Okay. Basically, if I had to make this up, he's comparing that to himself or a white man. Okay,
so do you know the context behind that statement?
Give me the context on that one.
Okay. And I actually have this up. I could actually probably find it and play it real quick. And Adam, thanks for coming back in. We'll get to your questions. I know you had a question to ask, but I'll get to yours in a second. Let me go ahead and honor Calvin's question, because Calvin's question is to Darnell's point. So let me I think I got a clip. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me just a few seconds here. Maybe I could find this clip. 1 second here, man. I think, is this it? No, that's not it. 1 second here. All right, so Calvin, here's the clip right here. Let me go ahead and play it for you. And let me know if this is what you were speaking about too, but I think that this is correct of what you were referring to.
I was paraphrasing it, but yeah.
Yeah. So what we got right here is, you can see that, 1 second here. This is JD Vance talking about him. And let's see if I can make this even bigger. Let's make this bigger. So I'm going to take it off of mute. 1 second here, chat. I got you, so you can hear it. But let me refresh.
Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words.
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
All right. So there you go. That is the clip, and that's the context of what he used. And once again, his context was affirmative action, because Joy Reid, it was, let me bring it up real quick again so I can read it here, but it was Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they themselves said that they were the benefited from affirmative action, right? And affirmative action is essentially DEI. It's you know, you can get into certain, you have the, if a company is prioritizing affirmative action or the government is prioritizing affirmative action, it would be to get people in certain positions based off of their race, based off their gender, based off of stuff like that, right? So if they themselves said that they are the benefactors of affirmative action, this would conclude that those specific black women, not all black women, but those specific black women, like he said, he named names, Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they don't have the brain processing power themselves. Because if you had the brain processing power yourself, you wouldn't have to use affirmative action. You can get there based off of meritocracy, based off of quality. You get what I'm saying? So
I get it.
What
But
points do
this
you
is
have
where-
on that then?
Yeah, I just feel like he's unpure. I feel like his motives are unpure. I feel like he honestly says things to divide a country.
But I say the same
Because
thing, man.
you-
If I
No,
said it,
listen.
would it be impure?
No, listen. No, you would be doing the same thing because
How?
you didn't say the last part. Because you didn't say the last part.
What last
you
part?
Didn't say because he compared the brain processing power to a white person.
Yeah,
This is
if
what I'm
they
trying
would.
to tell you.
Well,
This is
that's
his
what
mind.
that
This
is.
is how it works. You got to pick up on the nuances, bro.
Bro, that's
You
affirmative
know,
action.
You know what he's doing, but he's using that to really go and say what he really trying to say. You know it for a fact.
No,
And this
bro,
is
it's
the thing, Cooley. I know. Hey, Cooley, I know you're smart.
Do you not understand affirmative action?
But you're missing the nuances, Cooley. You're smart as fuck. You're 36. This is the problem. You stick too much to the fucking numbers, bro, like a robot.
No, the specifics.
Like you make it seem like, and then when we were talking earlier, and I bit my tongue on this. Obviously, I had to. It is what it is. Just like you bit your tongue when I brought up the baby mama thing. It's respect both ways. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We two grown ass men fucking talking shit. It is what it is.
No, I didn't bite my tongue. I was pointing out I was giving you an example how people can be disingenuous when they view clips.
No. I'm saying, but you bit your tongue in the moment when I said it, then you brought it up later. Just like how I'm finna. You get where I'm coming from?
Like
I
I don't get
bit
what
my
you're saying,
tongue.
but fair enough. Go ahead, land your plane. You're good.
Yeah. I bit my tongue on some stuff too. So one of the things that you was trying to point out is like, well, you was trying to call me feminine in a way. Bro, I'm a grown ass man. At the end of the day, you can talk whatever you want to talk. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is, we not robots, bro. Even if you a masculine ass man, you the most pure masculine motherfucker in the world. That does not mean you have no fucking emotions at all, unless you're a sociopath. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to have you understand is, how are you missing the fucking nuance? Because I know you smart. I know you a smart man, bro.
Got it. So what's the nuance?
I feel like you trying to like, and you purposely threw out that part at the end when he said he compared it to white people. Why do you have
what
to compare it to a white person?
Listen, bro. Listen, Calvin. That's what affirmative action is. Affirmative action, since white people are the majority, right, in the United States. That is true. And even when we're speaking about, all of these women are in positions of power in the government, right? So if we're speaking about these things, then we would have to put in we would have to speak about, well, if this methodology, this system of methodology is to prioritize race, ethnicity, and gender rather than qualifications, brain processing power, we would have to conclude the logical entailment is that if they were hired based off of this, they actually did take white jobs. That's the logical entailment.
But
That
that's
is
not
the
what
logical entailment. I would say listen real quick. I would say the same thing if black people was the majority and they wanted to do affirmative action and have these freaking white people prioritize ethnicity and gender, women and black women and white people. I would be like, this is stupid.
Hey, Cooley,
this isn't even fair.
Listening to you talk, I highly doubt you would have said the same thing and you would have used those same words. This is just my opinion. You wouldn't have compared First of all, he's assuming that it's based off of brain processing power. They could have, think about this. They could have said, we wouldn't have got these jobs based off affirmative action, meaning that she could have meant that, nobody would have even looked at my damn application if it wasn't for affirmative action. He assumed, think about this. He assumed it's based off of brain processing power, and then he related it to a white person. You are very intelligent, Cooley. You know what this guy's trying to do.
But you
I'm
have
just
to
up on it. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, listen.
I pick up on the game that he's running. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
He's running game.
Affirmative. You know that we got away with affirmative action in 2021 or 2022.
No, I get that you're trying to make it debate. You know he's running game.
No. It's not game. So here's the thing. I think that for you, Calvin, and maybe other people like you, when you don't know how to view things objectively instead of asserting things in there that is based off of how you perceive it to be rather than what is actually said. So someone can say something, you perceive it away, and then you make an insert based off of how you perceive it, meaning how you feel. I'm not going based off my feelings. What I can do is I can be empathetic, which is different. I can place myself in their shoes and say that, like I said, if black people was in the majority in America, and if we had a system in place of affirmative action or DEI, and that was prioritized and they wanted to be more inclusive and more diverse based off of race and based off of gender, instead of based off of meritocracy, I would say that I would come to the same conclusion. If you put this methodology in place and this system into practice, it would inherently take jobs from black people because we are the majority. That would be is the truth, though. It isn't. Wait, Calvin, is that not true, or is it true? Wait, you guys, real quick, say one, Calvin. If it's not true, then we have to have a debate about affirmative action, which is this basically DEI.
No, I'm not getting back into this DEI.
Okay, well, Calvin, tell me.
I can pick it up.
Adam, then same question to you. If you have a disagreement with me, is that true or untrue that affirmative action discriminates based off of, now affirmative action really did discriminate based off of the majority. DEI is something different. DEI actually does not discriminate based off of the majority. It actually discriminates for the majority. But go ahead in regards to affirmative action. No.
I would agree.
I would agree.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
I mean, listen to my point here.
Go ahead. Yeah, sure. Go
Listen to
ahead,
my point,
Calvin.
No, but I do want to expand.
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
That little spot, because I went to college and all this stuff like that, and they broke down. They had experiments where they'll go out, they'll turn in a bunch of applications. The only difference was this person will be black, this person will be white. A lot of the cases, the black person was more qualified, still wouldn't get the job, or the black person wouldn't get the housing, even though they had better credit, whatever the case is, and they'll still pick the white person. So they actually done studies where they actually showed that they actually take the less qualified person, even if they're white. So I just want to throw that in there. Hey, Cooley, but this is a very important point.
Sure.
The business owners weren't complaining, bro. The person that was complaining was Charlie Kirk. The only reason he was complaining about it is because he was wrong and he thought he was discriminated against because he didn't get into the college he wanted. The business owners weren't going to the government and being like, hey, we don't like this DEI thing. The business owners, they still growing profit because guess what? When you hire somebody, you put them in your system and they do what you tell them to do. And if they don't do what you tell them to do, you fire them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Kirk was trying to divide.
Oh, you're speaking about in his early years when he was in high school. You're speaking about. Yes, I think that's the point you're making.
He was crying about it, and then guess that's when he was found. Yeah. He was found at 18. A kid found him at 18 talking shit. That's what he was doing.
Yeah,
he gets paid to talk shit. He gets paid millions of dollars to talk shit. But the thing is, the way he talks shit is to divide. He's not trying.
Okay, so real quick, Calvin, let me understand. You said that the companies. Say that again. I didn't understand. So the companies did what? Okay.
The companies weren't complaining about DEI. The companies weren't complaining.
Companies weren't complaining about.
So
well, this was back then. It was affirmative action. But go ahead.
Yeah, whatever. The companies aren't complaining. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The companies aren't complaining. You got this guy complaining, trying to stir shit up and trying to divide. Now, if all the companies like, hey, our numbers are going lower, you're forcing us to hire people, that's a different story. Companies don't play about their money. And this is the crazy thing. I work for companies. They bring in some guy that might have not been qualified. He's the black guy. Why is he the number one sales guy? Why is he the top guy there? Why is he? I've seen this time and time again.
Yeah. So
the companies aren't complaining. Those are the people whose lives will be affecting. Charlie Kirk, God bless the dead. He has the right to speak, but he was trying to divide. There wasn't no real reason for him to bring up. And you debate, you debate very well. And I don't even do this debate stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's fair.
I came on with what I came with, and I just told you he was to divide.
Oh, that's fair. And Darnell, you're up next. But let me give context and also correct the two things that you said. When you're speaking about affirmative action and you're speaking about the companies wasn't for it, this is incorrect because companies, when we put affirmative action in place, the government oversees these companies and say you have to adhere to this in order to get certain government grants. This is how things work when you have a company in like a Fortune 500 company, like bigger companies and stuff like that. These companies thrive off of certain government grants.
So you're asking for a handout.
Well, listen real quick. What I'm saying is, in order for some of these companies to get these government grants, they would have to meet certain measurements when it comes to their hiring practices. Because
don't meet the measurements. Don't meet it and then forget the grant.
Real quick, but when you're speaking about the companies, now it wasn't like everyone didn't qualify for these grants and things like that, and it wasn't anything. You get what I'm saying? But anyways, when we're speaking about this here, and we're saying that, well, Charlie Kirk, him speaking about affirmative action back then and complaining, he wasn't necessarily complaining about the school that he couldn't get into. What he's complaining about is the school that prioritized affirmative action rather than the most qualified candidates. That's what he's complaining about.
He assumed that he was the most qualified candidate, and he's a guy. He's not the business owner that is actually affecting. It would make more sense.
He doesn't actually know.
If the businesses came together and was like, we don't like affirmative action, it would make more sense.
So I'll say this, Calvin.
And the government is putting it over your head. Like, if you want money from us, this is what we want you to do. That's
Calvin,
anybody.
I'll say this.
You would say that. You'd be like, hey, before I pay you, this is what I want you to do for my company. If you don't do this for my company, I'm not going to pay you.
Yeah. Real quick, Calvin, what I want you to understand is when you're making an assertion in regards to how Charlie Kirk was operating, right?
That's what he does, and that's what you're doing.
The assertion, no, I'm not. Look, the assertion that you're making is because he tried to shame and come after the one college, the one university that he couldn't get into, and he blamed it on affirmative action. You're saying that, well, this is what started it. This line of argument does not follow for him being a racist or anything. This line of argument would follow that he's been consistent. He's always been against programs that practice methodology that doesn't produce any good outcomes. This is why we gotta like the legislative.
No,
we
Cooley,
voted against affirmative action, bro.
I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong there. You're wrong there because he blamed it on a black person. That's where you're wrong. If he was against affirmative action, he wouldn't have said, I lost it to a black person.
He said that he lost it to.
Yes, that's what he said. He said to all his classmates, he said, the affirmative action, I lost.
Okay, even if he said that he lost it to a black person, what is affirmative action? You're forgetting the practice. The practice is to discriminate based off.
To a woman.
It could have been. It could have been to a. It could have been to a woman. It could have been to a. It could have been to a black person.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It wasn't for a. Go ahead.
He is doing black. That's what I'm trying to say. It could have been not a black person. It could have been.
It could have been to a woman.
He could have just not been qualified. That's the part he doesn't.
Or he could have not been qualified.
He thinks he's a smart white guy.
Yeah.
That there's no way me being a smart elitist white supremacist, I would have not got in. This is what we're trying to say. He's making assumptions, and then he's trying to force his racist views on his audience.
I already said that. Once again, what he is doing, which I would agree with, is that he is making an assumption because no one knows. If you apply to a job, no one really know why you didn't get hired. Like the individual themselves don't know exactly like why you didn't get hired. We can make some assumptions of why you didn't get hired. But if an organization, if a company is practicing affirmative action or DEI, then one can make a confident assumption that it's a possibility that you were probably discriminated against based off either you being a man or your ethnicity. You get what I'm saying? That's one of the assertions. And his assertion and his claim, he didn't bring up women. He could have brought up women and people would have just called him a misogynist rather than a racist. Think about it. If he would have brought up women, then you just would have called him, oh, well, he's, why did he say, oh, I didn't get the job and a woman got the job over me? Are you a misogynist? Either you're a misogynist. Listen real quick. You said that he shouldn't have said nothing. Bro, people say things.
You should have said, I do not like affirmative action. He shouldn't have even said.
And that's basically what he said.
I lost it to a woman.
But this doesn't mean, that doesn't mean, this is what I'm trying to say. If he didn't say affirmative action and he just said black man, then I would say that he ain't give no context, no other reason. He's probably has this racist view and he thinks that he wasn't hired because he wasn't white and someone else was hired because he was black. I would even say this about black people if they don't have any like context. Since he said affirmative action and this company their hiring practices was utilizing the methodologies of affirmative action, then his assumption, the college, the institution, same thing, the company, his assumption for the reasoning of affirmative action is valid. If he would have said woman, he would have been labeled a misogynist. He said black person, so he's labeled a racist. Either way, he's going to be labeled something.
No, he shouldn't have said anything.
You can say that he shouldn't have said anything, but guess what? He said something.
Yes, but what I'm saying is he shouldn't have said nothing after the affirmative action. He'd be like, he should have just been like, I hate affirmative action. I didn't get into college because of affirmative action.
But even if you say something after, but affirmative action is for two reasons. It was for either gender or for ethnicity. So it's either for those.
Anything. That's what I'm trying to say.
But he said it. It doesn't. He can say it because he said affirmative action. If he didn't say affirmative action, then what he said was we would say that is either racist or actually misogynistic.
I know. He shouldn't have said nothing. That should have ended the sentence right there.
Okay, let me ask you a question then.
If affirmative action, just like he shouldn't have said the brain power thing with the women. Bro,
you say that. So let me ask you.
Why is he related to a white person?
Let me ask you this question then.
They don't have the brain operating power as a white person. He shouldn't have said that.
Calvin, let me ask you this. And Adam, I think Darnell was supposed to. I don't know where Darnell went.
You Darnell thing because he has an exact quote of something.
Yeah, he got a quote.
I'm over here going back and forth and whatever.
No, you're
Darnell thing and handle that.
Yeah, I got you. But let me just
you know.
Let me reply back to what you said. I get what I got you, Darnell. When you're saying, but you saying that I know you know, What I'm telling you is I am not the end of, if someone gives a reason, like a justification for their statement, I have to include the justification. What you're doing is not including the justification for their statement. So if they give a justification, and if the justification is valid, I have to say that, well, there's a high probability. Now, do I know the heart of Charlie Kirk? No, I don't. Could he actually be a racist and against black people? It's a possibility. Do I think it's probable? From what I've heard in his ethics, I don't think that it's probable. Possible, yes, but I don't think that it's probable.
Cooley,
But real quick, let me,
tell you why.
real
Because
quick,
you're ignoring
Calvin.
the word that he is saying.
Calvin, we're going back and forth. Let me get Darnell up here to get into his thing.
You're ignoring the words that he is saying. That's where me and you
Nope,
disagree.
I take both into consideration.
No, he's saying the words,
But the word is included in affirmative action, is what I'm telling you.
But you're purposely ignoring what he is saying because you're trying
I'm
to
not.
give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, what I'm telling you is,
because the clip, you never said the white part. You said,
Nope.
oh, he just doesn't have the brain
read
processing power of a white person, and you left that
I
part
read.
out.
No, I read one. He said the whole thing, and then I just read it. He already said it, so everyone heard it. So I didn't leave any
out that part.
No, Calvin, listen. It's very simple. If it's the case that the justification of what a statement of someone makes a statement, you got a statement, right? Then you have the justification that backs up the statement. If the justification is valid and it is true, and if the justification includes like race and gender and things like that, and within the statement they include race and gender and things like that, it is aligned within the justification if the justification is valid. So let me repeat it into regular format. Listen.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Okay, listen real quick. We could disagree, but let me lay my plane. His statement was, well, I wasn't hired at this college because of affirmative action. And so they hired some black person rather than hiring me. That was the statement, right? Something like that.
Something along those lines, which he did not know. And he shouldn't have said the black.
He didn't know. Yeah, you don't really know 100%.
And he doesn't even know affirmative action did.
Got it. No, stop it.
Yes.
No,
he doesn't even know affirmative action. Because
I would say that, listen, if it is the case, because we don't have the specifics, but if it is the case that institution was not practicing affirmative action, then your argument holds more merit than my argument. Then I would say that, oh, this institution wasn't practicing affirmative action, then he just came up with this out of thin air. Yeah, man, I could see that there could be some, his motives could be like racist, I would say. But if it is the case that the institution was practicing affirmative action, everything that he said would be justifiable based off of affirmative action, including race and gender, because he's talking about race. No. It is, man. But anyways, no, Darnell.
It's not.
Yo, real quick, Calvin, I want to, we got other people backstage, and I want to give good conversation. Calvin, you kicked it, and I would say that one thing that is masculine about you, I would say that, yeah, man, you was being feminine, you was whining and junk like that. The masculine thing is about you. Don't even try me, bro. Yeah, a little bit. Nah, I wasn't. Listen, the masculine part that I'll give you, because I want to be objective here. I like to give kudos to when it's due, and I like to give. I talk my stuff when people talking nonsense. So I'll tell you this. You got courage, and courage is a masculine virtue because you stayed up, you weathered the storm, and you gave your perspective. You didn't back down, and you also conceded certain points when it made sense. When I explained it, you actually, okay, I'll go ahead and concede that point. You made certain concessions, and I do honor that because here is No Fugazi Podcast, so I don't like people that's disingenuous, like when they know they're wrong, but they want to double down. At least with you, I think that the part that we tend to would still disagree on, which would basically be the certain assertions, what what we make. Some of your assertions is based off of different assertions that I make. I stick to not really make certain assertions. I stick to just speak about the facts. But you make these assertions that's based off of what you think the person is insinuating, but based off what the facts is there, I take from it that they're not actually insinuating. We don't actually have proof of what they're insinuating. You are saying that, well, no, I could kind of feel this. I understand it. I got the sixth sense. These niggas racist. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
No, I just hear the words. No, it's just because you got to understand when a person uses certain words, they really telling you who they are. So like if I came on my podcast and I just talk shit about white people all day long, I'm really telling you who I am. I can bring up stats and everything. Why they're gonna be like, why does he always keep bringing up white pedophilia stats? Why does he keep bringing up this? Why does he keep doing it? Like,
but not if you justify it.
Is at. Yeah, you can tell where first heart is at.
And
he could have still got all of those points across without bringing the race. He could have got that. He could have got those points across without saying they don't have the brain processing power. Without saying this, he could have just stuck to the actual thing, which is the DEI or the affirmative action. That's what I'm saying. That's
so
how
you
I
know
would
what? There are many conservatives that do speak in that way. They speak in that way, and they may not go into the little, details of things and be abrasive in a way or do any shock factor or really hammer down a point. There's certain people that don't really hammer down a point, and they go kind of under the wind. They don't get a lot of light shine on them. But I think when you can hammer that point on home, say, listen, this is the conclusion of it, which what Charlie Kirk would do. You just don't, you don't like the conclusion. Like, oh, you could have left that out, but he put it in and it's still valid because it's justifiable based off of the affirmative action. So it's just that I would say that truthfully, you wouldn't like the way he speaks and how he's speaking, because I can name so many people that made the same arguments, but maybe just to hammer it down with the conclusion like that, which you would be like, I like that better. So that's a difference of how things are said rather than what is said. And for me, remember when I bring you up here, I said that the way I interpret things is based off of what is said. I'm looking at the facts rather than how it's said. If it's how something is said, then we would need some proof. I can't just make these insinuations.
No,
if things are being justified.
No.
But listen, Darnell, I don't want to have the back and forth too much with you because I want to get more people in here. But once again, I do listen, man. You're welcome to come back up. I would say this, since you have a different perspective than me. Come back up again. I'll honor you to debate with you because you are at least genuine. You're not trying to lie and stuff like that. So,
okay, for sure.
I'll bring you back up. And next debate night will be Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I bet.
Yeah, so come back up again. All right, man. Have a blessed one.
All right, you too, brother. Take care.